first part of the Module 1 review will be Section 1.1, Order of Operations. So we're just going to run through a few order of operations problems. Main thing to do when you're doing order of operations problems is just be very careful. Don't get in a hurry, and always keep your order of operations in mind. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. Ones like the one that we have up here right now, it really tempt you to not do things in that order. So just be really careful about keeping your order of operations right in front of you, maybe even write it out like that on each problem, and then make really sure you're following it, because you might have a tendency to skip ahead and do some things first that you ought to wait to do. So an example of that is when people see this problem, a whole bunch of people just can't resist starting right here with 4 plus 3 and making it into 7. But that's not correct, because addition and subtraction are way down on the bottom down here. So we're not even close to being ready to do that part. So don't do that. Do the order of operations, start at the top, work your way down. It says parentheses. We have two sets of parentheses, here and then here. So you go to the inner set first. So all we're going to do is rewrite this whole thing, but do that inner set of parentheses. 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's all I did. Now I'm going to go inside the next set of parentheses. And remember, every time I go inside a set of parentheses, I go back up to the top of the order of operations. That's why inside that first set of parentheses, I looked inside, saw another set of parentheses inside, and did that first. So inside this set of parentheses, we're going to ask, are there any parentheses in there? Well, this set of parentheses around the 3 doesn't really matter, because when we're talking about parentheses in the order of operations, we're talking about operations that are going on inside of parentheses, and that's just a number in there. So we don't have any parentheses inside, we don't have any exponents, but we do have a multiplication and division. So, well, I don't know what happened here. We only need one of those. So we're copying that down, and then we're going to do the 2 times 3 right here, so we have 9 minus 6. And we're copying that down, and now we're going to finish out the operations inside the parentheses. Now we have addition, and we have multiplication, so we're going to do the multiplication first. And then 4 plus 9 is 13, and that's our final answer. So we're really careful about following the order of operations all the way through. Same thing here, we're going to put our order of operations up here. So are there any parentheses? Yes, there are. So we're going to work just inside the parentheses. Just copy everything else down. 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, so we're finished inside the parentheses. Go back up to the top. Are there any other operations inside of parentheses? No. Go to exponents. Yes, there are 2 sets of exponents. We can do them both at the same time. So 10 squared is 100 minus 6 squared, which is 36. Now all we have left is subtraction, so we can do that. 100 minus 36 is 64. Now this is one of the ones that the book talks briefly about, that when you have a fraction bar like this, that acts as a grouping symbol. So that means that you do what's on the top and what's on the bottom separately, and then last you do the division that fraction bar indicates. So we're going to work simultaneously on the top and the bottom, and we're going to be paying attention to the order of operations while we do that. So on the top, I just have multiplication, addition, and division. So that means I'm going to go multiplication and division from left to right. So 5 times 2 is 10 plus 12 times 3. So I did 5 times 2. Then I'm going to do 12 times 3. Remember, I'm leaving that addition until the end because addition and subtraction come after multiplication and division. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now I'm going to do my fraction bar and work on the bottom. The bottom has some parentheses, so I'm going to do that first. 9 minus 4 minus 2 is 2. So I'm going to go like that. Now I'm going to finish off the top and the bottom. So the top, 10 plus 4 is 14. The bottom, 9 minus 2 is 7. And then 14 divided by 7 is our last step. And our answer for the whole thing is 2. Everybody's favorite, we got one with fractions here. So since we have fractions and it's just an expression, we can't do the clearing fractions thing. We're going to just work with fractions in the way that you learned earlier in life or in Math 20 if you took classes here at LB. So that means we have a bunch of subtraction and addition of fractions to do here. That means we're going to need common denominators. So first I'm going to find common denominators for the inner two fractions here. And the common denominator of fourths and fifths is 20ths. So I'm going to go out here and make 3/4 into 20ths by multiplying by 5 on the top and bottom. And then I'm going to make 1/5 into 20ths by multiplying top and bottom by 4. So that's 4/20ths. Now I'm going to go back and rewrite my problem. So 3/4 became 15/20ths minus 1/5 became 4/20ths. And then we've still got our plus 9/10 out here, which we'll deal with in a little bit. So 15/20ths minus 4/20ths, we subtract the top numbers, and I get 11/20ths plus 9/10. Now I have to go outside and make 9/10 into 20ths, same process. That got multiplied by 2, so that does also. So then that means I really have 11/20ths plus 18/20ths. So that means if I add those together, I have 29/20ths. And you'll hear me say that in this class, it's a good idea to just leave it as 29/20ths. If that could be reduced, we'd want to reduce it, but we can't reduce that one, so we're going to leave it as 29/20ths.